So here we have the full flap mechanism removed from the tailgate, and you can see it's got three components. You have a flap and the pad, another flap and the pad, and then you have a motor. Now this motor basically spins here and it pulls a cable either way. So if it's turning this way, it pulls the cable both ways. If it's rotating this way, it releases the cable. Okay, the cable is connected to a tooth. It's like a long, it's like a rack and pinion. Okay, if you know what they are, it's like a straight tooth connected to a circular tooth, which I will show you when I disassemble this. Okay, and that movement makes this flap come in and out. Okay, and what happens is a couple of common failures are the teeth will get weak, and it's normally the circular one that goes, that can snap off, so there's no rotation. The teeth can get weak because it's over tightened and it pulls, and then it kind of breaks the teeth, so then that's useless, so it won't operate. And also you've got a pin in here which corrodes and can break, so if it's not lubricated well, then that can break off and this whole hinge just falls off. Okay, so it is basically adjustable here. This nut will tighten adjusts the tension in the cable in here. So when you assemble one of these, it needs to be set up properly by turning this, so when this opens and closes, it doesn't pull too hard on here, because if you pull it to the end, it's going to have a burnout in here, break the teeth, or will burn out in here. Okay, so to actually remove this, I'm going to have to remove the leather pad first. And to remove the leather pad, you've got these little pinch little things here, and I'm going to pinch them with a pair of pliers and pull off. And there's a couple of little plastic tabs there, and once these pull off, you can see the screw head there. We can take off the screws and we can then remove the pad. Okay, so I'm going to pinch that in and push down. See if I can do this with one hand. When you pinch that, you should be able to push down now. Okay, I'm going to do this two hands. So I'm going to pinch on that, and then I'm going to pull down on here, and it will unclip. There's another little tab there, and so just having a go of it, it will come off quite easily. Okay, so I've got one of it off, and then you can see there it's coming undone. You've got another little tab there, which you can do. Never put a screwdriver in there to pull it. I'm going to have a go at removing the rest now. Another useful tip is to get a screwdriver, and you can put the screwdriver in here, so I can show you. And if you push the screwdriver in, it will help release everything. So off with the pad, just held on a couple of plastic clips, leaves you with this blank pad. Take these two off to release it from the hinge. Okay, so pads are removed, and we have this hinge. Now, to remove the hinge from the cable assembly, you have a couple of screws. There's one there and one in here, and when you release them, you've got to be careful, because you could find that the toothed bit here can fall out. Now if that falls out, you don't want to lose it. Okay, so be ever so careful. So I'm going to start loosening this off now. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, that's coming off okay. They're not too tight, to be honest. Now this one is just a bit of a longer reach. I'm just gonna start turning that. Okay. And does it got it or not? Yeah. Now, once it's quite loose, it should fall apart, but I'm going to take it off anyway. So, you take the bolts out, the screws. Just to show you what it looks like. Okay, when I take that off, so here is your circular bit. Now I can just move this, and it's a, you can see as the flap rotates, and there's a bit of friction here, so I think this has gone and got a, you could do with a bit of a spray of a silicone lubricant or something inside there. You can see it's a bit harsh. It normally move a lot freer than this, so it just goes to show once it becomes, you know, corroded, it's going to break. So this needs freeing up a slight, but there you are. There's the circular cog there, and here's the straight one. Now the straight one is connected to the end of the cable. Now you need to push that out. Okay, this just basically slides in that, and there you have the cable assembly onto here. And this, once it's all on, you can put that back on there, put the lid back on. You could slide that back in there. Oops, wrong way. That would normally go in there like this. I can put that in there, and that's how it operates. So this thing moves up and down. But you can imagine if this is set incorrectly, if you are going to set it too far this way and you keep on pulling, and it's going to hit here and it's going to break this. This could break, and this gets all corroded as well. So hence this nut here is used to adjust it. And there you go. There's the workings of this flap assembly. Hope this has been of some use. Oh, just one more thing to mention. You've got a micro switch here. Of course, the ECU needs to know when the flaps are up. If the flaps aren't up and it doesn't receive the signal here, the boot will stop. So another common failure are either micro switch failures or the connections in here. The ECU doesn't read what's going on. So it could either be the switch failure or some failure in any of the loom or the cabling, which can be a nightmare to find. You need the proper diagnostic equipment to actually read the correct roof ECU and what errors it's reporting to be able to track this down. Okay, but the common thing on this is mechanical, not really electrical. It's these components.